So April 16th seems like the day, and I've singled out this day like about a month ago. I've been meaning to do the video, but I've been in the trenches dealing with Solana memes. I just wanted to figure out what all that folly was about. It's insane. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't advise it, but it does make me more bullish on Solana. But this isn't about Solana. This is about XRP. Breaking: pro XRP lawyer Fred Rispoli says the public should expect to see something happen on or before next Wednesday, 4/16. The question is, what happens on 4/16? Well, we had to look at this. 4 plus 16 plus 20 plus 25 equals 65. 65 is an interesting day because it's the day after taxes. 65, right? April 15th, last day to file taxes. But 65 is the crypto number. Crypto 65. As well as bull market for another 65. Insane. 65 surrounding this Ripple case. It does because Hinman documents. If you're an OG, I'm sure you remember this. Hinman documents 65. Not only that, Judge Torres, who gave the ruling of XRP not being a security, 65. Another date surrounding the case was October 19th, 2023, 65. That's the day that the lawsuit was dropped against Brad and Carson. So as you can see, 65 date, and mind you, I think Ripple was one who suggested this date, which is very interesting because I'm going to prove to you they must know gematria. If you look back, they're the ones who filed this, that they must put in their cross appeal by the 16th or something along those lines. So October 19, 2023, 65. 65 surrounds crypto. It surrounds the case. Metallicus 65 for you XPR. XRP's little brother, Metallicus 65, as well as Marshall Hayner. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Marshall Hayner 65. But another person that has to do with 65 is Paul Atkins. Now, mind you, Paul Atkins hasn't been sworn in yet, right? When will Paul Atkins be sworn in? Confirmed to lead the SEC despite Democrats' opposition. Atkins confirmed by U.S. Senate to take over SEC, formally run, right? So he was voted in, but he hasn't been sworn in. And I'm going to show you that this dude, Paul Atkins, he's no joke. He's a heavy hitter, right? And they're going to bring him in just for this, right? He's already been a commissioner of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. But he's also a member of, let me see, Paul Atkins 65 of Pi Beta Kappa, which has had 17 U.S. presidents, 42 United States Supreme Court justices, blah, blah, blah. You get the gist, right? So he's connected. He's with the Brotherhood, right? The same people who go by these numbers. What numbers? The coding of letters, numbers, and words done by the elite, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, whatever you want to call them. Now, Paul Atkins was the SEC from 2002 to 2008. From 2002 to 2008, the U.S. stock market experienced a period of substantial growth driven by factors like the recovery from the dot-com bubble, low interest rates, and a housing boom. So bingo, he's a bull run SEC chair. Like, what more do you need? Right? Because I was just after the dot-com bubble, the year 2000, and then right before the housing crash in 2009. So we can expect this bull run with Paul Atkins. So I'm telling Grok, okay, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Is this the one? Hold on. Okay, so pause that. Using A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, gematria code April 16, 2025, Wednesday. Oh, using listen. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Gematria code April 16, 2025, Wednesday equals 589. And now look what Grok says. It's like you're applying basic gematria code, which each letter is assigned a numerical value, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, to the phrase April 16, 2025, Wednesday. and checking if it equals 589. Let's break it down step by step. In this system, we assign values to each letter of the alphabet. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Simple. Z equals 26. April 16th, 2025, Wednesday. Next, we add them up. This is Grok here. Watch this. Equals 581. The total is 581, not 589. So I tell Grok, yo, you're mistaken. Wednesday, April 16th, 2025 equals 589. You're right to challenge me. Let's double check the gematria calculator. For Wednesday, April 16th, right? So I spell it out. Now I put Wednesday in front. Maybe Grok is tripping because I put Wednesday at the end. But I Googled it. That's how you spell Wednesday. Right? And I clipboarded it. So I didn't have to respell it. Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. Once again, Grok is doing the math. Doing all this for nothing. The total is 581. The same as my earlier calculation. Slightly different phrasing. If you're certain it's 589, perhaps there's a specific gematria rule I'm missing, like excluding spaces, already done, reducing numbers, or applying modifier. Wednesday, though, is not standard. I'll concede I might have misstepped if you got a source confirming 589. You can clarify. And so I say, Grok, why are you lying? I'm not lying, I promise. I just crunched numbers. Here's my sum again, super quick. Wednesday, 581. I've done this multiple times, right? I'm telling him, like, fair enough. If you've done it multiple times and consistently get 589, I'll let you trust the method that worked for you. Wednesday, April 16th, 2025, 581. That's 8 short of 589. So this whole time I'm like, yo, okay, I asked Grok. I got ChatGPT. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and if it's right, you're wrong. So then I go to ChatGPT. Boom. Let's see what ChatGPT says. I'm explaining the code to him. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Using this gematria code, what is Wednesday, April 16th, 2025? So let's see what ChatGPT says. Calculating, boom, 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 bingo. $5.89, bingo. That's insane, right? Why was Grok lying? Grok lied and said it was 581. Yeah, it looks like Grok was off on that one. Unless they were using this invariant of gematria. No, that's BS. But check this out. Right, we're going to spell it out right here. Why does it keep going to the screen? Right? So, it's a Wednesday. Wednesday, that's spelled right. You can see it right there. Clear as day. Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. 589, bingo. I have no idea why Grok was lying. So am I saying that XRP is going to 589? Well, eventually. I don't know. 2028, 2029 bull run, 2030. And a lot of things that people are sleeping on. I did the math once. I asked Grok's dumbass. I was like, if RLUSD took on USDT trading volume and added a couple of other scenarios, and I was like, and it was transacting this volume every day. Like, I forgot what the calculation was, but it was definitely reasonable. And I was like, what would the burn rate be? And it was like, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do that video. That's what you need to be bullish on, because nobody's talking about the burn rate. It was like, yeah, based on this, blah, 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 blah. XRP, about 5 million XRP would be burned a day. And I was like, yo, that's insane. 5 million XRP burned a day? That's just another video. If you do the math, it's crazy. It's like losing 1% of its value every 5 years. It's crazy. Which, less supply equals a higher token. So yes, XRP can hit 589. But yeah, that's interesting. Oh, 1,000. Before I end this 2025, not only is it 589, it's also 599, which is the 109th prime. right? 599, the 109th prime, like Ripple XRP equals 109. That's so this date just is the XRP date. So whoever in XR or Ripple's corner who suggested this date for the final date for the cross appeals and to finally end this SEC case knew they had to have known it equaled 589. What's the odds? Because before we go there, right? I got something else in this. I did end up asking them Grok, because Grok was the smart one, is for other dates that equaled 589 in the past, right? Thursday, August 8th, 8/8/2024, February 12th, 2024, November 1st, 2023, October 4th, 2023, September 11th, 2023. They all equals 589. And I asked them, did any events happen around Ripple on these dates? SEC's appeal denied in Ripple case. A federal judge refused to allow the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to appeal a prior decision involving Ripple Labs. This ruling was seen as a significant setback for the SEC in its efforts to regulate cryptocurrency markets. So that happened on a date with 589 numerology, as well as Ripple secure Singapore payments license. On August 8th, another day that equals 589, Ripple ordered to pay 125 million penalty, which is apparently Brad Garlinghouse said it's going to be about 50 million. And it's going to be an XRP. So XRP is clearly going into the strategic reserve asset under Trump. They're going to get $50 million worth of XRP, which also reduced the limit because the United States government is holding that, right? Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I'm in a rush. I got to do something right after this. A Manhattan court judge ordered Ripple Labs to pay approximately 125 million in penalties to the SEC for improperly selling XRP tokens to institutional investors. XRP price surge following court ruling. So these events happened on a day with 589 numerology. Now you're going to hear it for her first. Here's the upcoming days that equal 589. So you might want to open a 5x leverage XRP trade on these days. I know I'm going to, just on the strength, I'm just going to open up a little, I got my bag packed, but just for a little short term run up and see what happens, I'm going to definitely 10x this little thing. Hopefully the elite don't see this video and say, oh, they're onto us. Let's switch it. Let's flip it. But so the 16th of April is a 589 date. June 19th, 2025 is a 589 date. September 7th, September 19th, and 11/11/2025. Interesting. But yeah, we can go back to the calculator. But like I said, that date, April 16th, is also 599, the 109th prime. XRP Ripple is 109. Bradley Kent Garlinghouse is 109. The 109 is the XRP number. XRP Ledger, 109. Currency, 109. Reciprocal tariffs has been in the news lately. I must have spelled reciprocal. Reciprocal tariffs, 109. XRP makes all-time highs. XRP makes all-time highs. Okay, missed on that one. It's okay. But it is 2-3. Like XRP is 2-3. Yeah. But World Bridge Currency, 109. And there's also a rumor that a 50-year gold bond could be tokenized on the XRP ledger, right? That's like a serious rumor and a serious thing that could happen. 109. One thing that's interesting is that Swift is also 23, like XRP, 23, like we just talked about. But Swift GPI is also 109. Something big is coming. 109. Be patient.